I talked to my guy today, because I wanted to give him that little information about 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 what is it? I was going to give him information about flat Earth and how flat Earth could be basically, you know, what's underneath. Because I told him it was like I told him about the space might be spiritual, and I'm like, because when we were trying to talk about how what's we obviously we came to the same. Well, it's already there because they always use that shit as a recall, but the wall. And I'm like, okay, so there's a wall. What's beyond the wall? We're like, I don't know. Just, you know what I'm saying? And then I was like, okay, what's underneath? And it's like, I don't know, and stuff like that, right? So we were stuck on that at some point. And I came back to it. When I came to it, I was like, okay, yeah, there's a wall, blah blah blah. I said, yeah, you help me don't know what's underneath, right? Like, yeah, no, it's like there's like 8 feet because apparently, this thing I didn't even realize because you learn from school the layers of Earth and stuff like that, and I thought, oh, we already went down there. We got close to it. In reality, we only dug 8 feet before we hit bedrock or some shit like that, and after that we haven't got any deeper. And I say so when I told him that, he's like, oh no, we do, it's 8 feet. I'm like, so what's under that? He's like, I don't know. And I say, I think it's the spiritual realm, right? So I told him that, and we started discussing, and I told him about the deletion thing. I said, the only way you could have free will if you're a spirit is if you delete yourself. And I used the Matrix and stuff like that, how Neo went on the telephone, he called, and he just, boom, he disappeared and was put out from the simulation and into the machine world and shit like that, right? And he said, why does it have to be like that? He said, if you remember, Neo had an awakening. He had an awakening, like, okay, I get the problem what I have sometimes is when I have an idea, I sometimes get lost in the sauce and forget everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything that logically, and then you're like, oh, okay, so here's my idea. Maybe deletion was the first part. Somebody from way back, like not us, like Earth us. I mean, like way back in the universe, like beginning of time universe, right? Somebody said, and then they're like, oh shit, this is the Matrix. This is the simulation, and I'm free from the simulation because I deleted myself and stuff like that. And now I could save other people and help them get out the simulation and slowly creating this vehicle revolution of spirit removing themselves from the simulation without deleting themselves. So I got lost in the sauce. There's a way, and my guy said it's an awakening, and I'm like, yeah, that's actually, there's that both ways now. But the more funner way is not the one I was stuck in. Also, as I said, I was getting lost in the sauce, and I told him, because I'm telling him, okay, I'm like, hey, you're a soul, I'm a spirit. Spirit means NPC, AI, simulation. Soul means you are imprisoned in the simulation, but you belong to this soul realm. And I told him, just say you're a soul and I'm a spirit. And I said, I'm an atheist and you're an atheist. You're a soul atheist, I'm a spirit atheist. And I believe, because you're a soul, I'm a spirit. I believe atheists, you believe atheism, and at some point we die, right? I die, and I told him, what do I see? Nothing. And I told him, so, and you die, what do you see? He's like, nothing. I'm like, no, I die, I see nothing, because I'm a spirit. You die, and you see a spiritual realm. You see heaven. It's like, even though I'm an atheist, like, yeah, because you're not a spirit, you're a soul. And I think, as I said, I got lost in the sauce in that, where I'm like, so if you're a spirit, there's a chance you get X'd out and you see nothing. You're blacked out. There is nothing. When people who are atheism, they don't have to be. They could be souls, or they could be spirits, and they could be right or they could be wrong. When they finally go, they could be like spirits, and they're like, oh, and then boom, darkness. Or they could be a soul, and then there's no darkness. And all the, I believe in reincarnation and stuff like that, but I'm like, maybe that's only reserved for the souls. But then again, that he's talking, I'm like, he's saying everything. I'm like, I'm with everything he said. I'm with, and I'm like, okay, maybe there's some spirits they get to keep their retain their not actually, no, they don't get to retain the memories, but retain the progression of carrying on. They get reincarnation. Some NPCs, some spirits get reincarnation, and some don't. And I think the ones that don't are the ones who probably act like NPCs. And the ones who probably do get a reincarnation is people who actually try. I don't think they have to be fucking all out like that, but actually try. And the next act, they either get another chance to say, hey, you know how you did try? You know how you tried and you gave up? Let's try that again, buddy. Let's go. And I think that's... And also I had this idea, because, I'm trying to think, so I'm thinking at the same time. Because after we were done talking, I'm just so thinking, and I'm listening to him, and, I'm like, also, because he's like, I forgot what he said about something about religion. But I think he said, if you believe it, pretty much that's what happened. I think that's what he said. And I think that's for the spirits. If you're a fucking Christian, if you're a fucking Muslim, if you're a atheist, if you're a what religion, like Christian, atheist, Catholic, Hinduism, Buddhism. If you're any of those, and when you in your spirit you see that maker, the simulation will give you that. Like, here you go with your God, or go into darkness, however it may be. But if you're a soul, you can believe all the shit that the simulation gives us, but at the end, when you die, you're gonna see your maker, and whoever that is in the spiritual realm, that's who it is. So I think that's all I kind of want to really say. I think deletion is the thing. I think it's just more or less of it kind of makes sense now, because he brought up a good point about that movie. Neo didn't delete himself, even when he goes into the Matrix, he calls and boom, he's gone. But where he's like, he didn't die though. He didn't do that. The first time they gave him, he was awakened, and I think that's really a fair way to say it. And yeah, I think there's two options, and the better option is Morpheus coming up to you and say, hey, you're in a simulation, and let's get the fuck out of here. And I think every religion is possible. I just don't think it's not possible for the soul. The soul will see its maker, and that's wherever is in the soul realm. and how that is interpreted is going to be interpreted how the souls interpret it. But spirits, they get the whole shebang. They get the Buddhism, they get the all that, whatever they believe in, they get it, and they get to meet their maker when they die. And I also think atheists get to see that. Depending, I don't think they all get to see it. I think if they are atheists, they might get. It's like, hey, you had some ounce of belief in Christianity, so you're gonna get a little bit of. So we're gonna, because we still need you, even though you died of old age or whatever the cause may be of your death. We still need you, and we're gonna give you Christian, so you feel so that even though you had this idea that we die and nothing, we still need you. So we're gonna give you that God thing, boom, boom, and we're gonna cycle you back in. But that's it. Yeah. Bye.